We have to talk about this ad. And this is an ad I played on the stream the other day, but we're going to play it again because some people may not have seen it. Um, Ron DeSantis seems to be making pro-homophobia a central part of his campaign. Now, I understand conservatives don't like the gays. They've never liked the gays. Even in 2020, when they were pretending to like the gays, it was like begrudgingly because they wanted votes and because they were following Trump. And Trump was like, we like gay people. We're not going to be dicks to them anymore. And so the conservative cultists who were following Trump were like, okay, Trump, okay. Yes, we agree with you, Trump. And then as soon as Trump left office, the moral majority Christian conservative bullshit started spinning back up again. And all of a sudden, we hate the gays again. And who took advantage of that? But Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis, a couple weeks ago, his campaign released the most homophobic ad that I've actually seen in my effing lifetime. It's gross. And they did ultimately end up taking it down, I heard, but it took like weeks for them to take this ad down. So, just in case you haven't seen the ad, let's take a watch. This is on my Substack. This is a Substack that I have called Playing Politics. I don't really post on it that much. It's more like for if I have a hot take about politics, I'll post it there because I post most of my hot takes on Twitter, but sometimes like I just want to post it somewhere for posterity where I can go back and find it later. So if you want to get my political hot takes in your inbox, you can subscribe to Playing Politics. It's completely free. I'm probably never going to monetize it because it's just a place for me to like post stuff. And I did post the video of this ad. So let's watch just in case you haven't seen it.
I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens.
But Caitlyn Jenner were to walk into Trump Tower and want to use the bathroom, you would be fine with her using any bathroom she chooses.
That is correct.
In the future, can transgender women compete in Miss Universe?
Yes. Make America great again. Psych!
I cannot think of anything more horrifying.
It really has shut down drag.
Just produced some of the harshest, most draconian laws that literally threaten trans existence.
Congratulations, Ron DeSantis. Mission accomplished. You win.
What the hell was that about? What the hell was that? That was literally an ad that said, guys, Trump supported gay people, but I promise you, I am not going to support gay people. Yes, that was 100% real. That was posted. You can see the tweet here. Again, it's like since been taken down. It was posted by the DeSantis War Room Twitter account. I have so many issues with this ad. I have issue like them calling out Donald Trump for saying bad Trump supported the gays is bad enough. Also, them using Lady MAGA in this ad really effing pisses me off because I know Lady MAGA. I consider myself to be friends with Lady MAGA. Lady MAGA, Ryan is the guy behind Lady MAGA. He is one of the nicest, sweetest guys you will ever meet in your life. He would never do anything to kids. He would never do anything age inappropriate. The only thing he does is like spread joy at these events that he goes to, and he dresses up as Lady MAGA and he takes pictures with old ladies and he poses and is all very theatrical and it's not sexual at all. And the fact that they specifically called out Lady MAGA in this ad, and Lady MAGA has taken a metric ton of grief from the right on so many different levels. Lady MAGA, by the way, Ryan lost his job for supporting Donald Trump and supporting conservative policies and still continued to be Lady MAGA and still continued to take a metric ton of grief from the conservative right over doing it. It really pisses me off that they used Ryan in this ad. It really pisses me off. It's not acceptable. And this whole like building up this whole like Patrick Bateman, like Wolf of Wall Street, like masculine tradcon bullshit. It's like that is not appealing. I understand that you guys think it's appealing, but that is actually not appealing. But of course, Ron DeSantis had to double down on this after there was a tremendous amount of backlash to that ad. And Ron DeSantis came out and said, you know what? Don't regret it. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis doubled down on the video his campaign shared last week that attacked former President Trump over his past remarks in support of LGBTQ community. I think, identifying Donald Trump as really being a pioneer in injecting gender ideology into the mainstream, where he was having men compete against women in his beauty pageants. I think that's totally fair game because he's now campaigning saying the opposite, that he doesn't think that you should have men competing in women's things like athletics. Well, I do think that maybe we can all agree that competing in a beauty pageant is not actually the same thing as competing in athletics. It's not the same thing at all. And so I personally don't give a flying flip about this beauty pageant stuff. I know that this is something that the conservative right likes to read about, but conservatives, let me cue you in. Like, normal people don't care if trans women compete in beauty pageants. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. It's a beauty pageant. They wear a nice dress across the stage. They answer a question in under 30 seconds. They wear a bathing suit. Oh, the shock, the horror. And then someone gets a big, pretty crown. Sometimes they do a talent competition. But this is not a competition in which physical strength and athleticism is actually a factor. And then conservatives are going to go, but trans women are winning beauty pageants and it's not fair. Well, guess what, guys? Life isn't fucking fair. And if the number one thing that you care about is a trans woman winning a beauty pageant that you never even watched or cared about until a trans woman won the beauty pageant, then it just seems to me to look like, tribalism for the sake of tribalism. So I found it pretty disgusting that Ron DeSantis doubled down on all this bullshit. Now, they did eventually take the ad down, but they have gotten, more than a little bit of backlash over it, including from the Republican Party. A lot of gay Republicans came out and said, WTF Ron DeSantis. This is an article in the AP. An anti-Trump video shared by the DeSantis campaign is homophobic, says a conservative LGBT group. Let's read. A prominent group that represents LGBT conservatives says a video shared by Ron DeSantis' presidential campaign that slammed rival Donald Trump for his past support of gay and transgender people ventured into homophobic territory. The DeSantis War Room Twitter account shared the video. Blah, 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 blah. We already talked about that. Let's see. The video drew immediate criticism from prominent LGBTQ Republicans, including the Log Cabin Republicans, which bills itself as the nation's largest organization dedicated to representing LGBT conservatives. And I like, by the way, that they left out the Q. The differentiator between the Q is the thing that should be left out. LGBT is about identity. Q is about a political ideology. Let's all keep that in mind. Today's message from the DeSantis campaign war room is divisive and desperate. Republicans and other common sense conservatives know Ron DeSantis has alienated swing state and younger voters, the group said in a tweet. Extreme rhetoric has just ventured into homophobic territory. The group said his rhetoric will lose hard-fought gains in critical races across the nation. I agree with that. The old playbook has been tried in the past and has failed repeatedly. The Post said DeSantis' naive policy positions are dangerous and politically stupid. Caitlyn Jenner says that the DeSantis campaign is using horribly divisive tactics. DeSantis has hit a new low, etc., etc., etc. And we also have David Leatherwood, who, up until last week, David Leatherwood was on the board of Gays Against Groomers. But just like the few dozen Gays Against Groomers not employees, because there's no employees of Gays Against Groomers, but just like the few dozen Gays Against Groomers volunteers who have already quit Gays Against Groomers this year, David Leatherwood just resigned from Gays Against Groomers because of his differences of opinion with Jane Mitchell, the CEO of Gays Against Groomers, over this whole DeSantis thing, because she refuses to denounce the ad because she's a DeSantis shill. Let's listen to what David had to say on, what was it, Newsmax? To
children, but
it was a historic moment when Donald Trump became the first Republican presidential nominee to pledge his support for the gay community only weeks after a terrorist murdered 49 people in the horrific Pulse nightclub shooting. And that's actually the first clip in this ad. The fact that Ron DeSantis tried to use that against Donald Trump to smear and attack Donald Trump is absolutely disgusting. It's also a very low IQ losing strategy. 71% of Americans support equality, 78% of independents support equality. So Ron DeSantis is simply unelectable. But get this, 89% of Gen Z supports equality. So in my opinion, Ron DeSantis blew his shot for 2028 as well. He's very divisive.
I agree. I think it was a major misstep. I mean, why would you generalize a whole group of people? I think we can all agree that we're against radical ideology when it comes to trans stuff, and especially when it comes to children. But to say LGBT it's just kind of, I was shocked.
So David Leatherwood's position is that Ron DeSantis has not only lost his shot in 2024, but also that he's lost his shot in 2028 because of that singular ad. And I'm going to be honest, that ad is going to come up time and time and time and time and time again. I know how this works because I've had this done to me, and I on a microscopic scale compared to Ron DeSantis. That ad is going to come up every single time Ron DeSantis is going to be mentioned forever.